Arsenal 2, Burnley 0, Victor Gyokeres Masterclass from the Swede this afternoon. A goal, wonderful hold-up play, brilliant creativity, and a 45-minute cameo in the end from him, taken off early as a precaution. Man United go away to the City Ground and draw 2-2 with Nottingham Forest. A little bit of the good, the bad, and the ugly today from Manchester United, which we will break down for you. We're going to get some panelists, take some calls on the show as well. But Arsenal extend that lead at the top of the English Premier League. Now 25 points they have. It's a 7-point gap over Bournemouth, who play later this weekend. It's a 8-point gap over Spurs at kickoff in 30 minutes time. But when you look at the guys that are considered the main title contenders, it's now 9 points over City, and it is a massive 10 points over Liverpool. Liverpool must win tonight. Arsenal got the job done. They put the pressure on their opponents. They scored from a set piece again. And they also got a goal that wasn't even from open play. It was a counter-attack, if you want to get technical. There's something beautiful about that. As a United fan, I can't lie to you. I'm in this... I feel like between a rock and a hard place tonight. And we're going to break that down. We're going to go through it on the show this afternoon. Oh, it's difficult. Honestly, I hate when my team's on at the same time as any other club, because I have a job to do here and talk to you about it. But I'm so fixated on Man United. I feel stressed the whole time. I really feel stressed the whole time. I do. If you haven't done so yet, by the way, get the like button hit. Make sure you're subscribing. Get bell notifications turned on. Really, really important to us indeed. Make sure you are getting that done. We've got some super chats here. The first one here says Gyokeres found his level. Or the Premier League. That joke, you do that when you play a team who are in League One, not a team that are in the Premier League. Maybe you're being like, it's a double bluff, but there we go. Come on, you gooners, but also pray for Frank. I don't understand. That's gone over my head. You have to explain that one to me. I ain't been on social media all day. English Talent SC here says, so happy Manu didn't come on to the pitch. I wasn't. I felt that bringing Manu on could have made a difference in the game. We needed a little bit more guile on the ball. And we'll get into that a little bit later in the show. We will. But thank you very much for your early super chats, and big up to everybody that is tuning in across all platforms. It means a great deal to us indeed. Hit the like button is what Luke Skywalker here says, with 29 months as a member chat. Thank you very much there, Luke. Well, I'm going to start off with the team top of the league. I'm going to start off with them because I just want to calm myself down a bit before I speak about Man United, because I'll end up saying something I regret, because I'm really angry and I might calm down. But with Arsenal, it was a case today of Victor Gyokeres arriving. The hold-up play was amazing. The pass for the second goal. Giuseppe, this is, if you watch my channel, the Football Terrace, Giuseppe comes on, he's an Arsenal fan, spoke about how he plays like Harry Kane. Now, we know that was an exaggeration, but that pass was Harry Kane-esque. It was Wayne Rooney-esque. His hold-up play, he fed Saka into the game twice, where Saka really should have scored. And today wasn't about Arsenal lacking opportunities to score in open play or making it 3-4, 5-0. The conversion rate would probably frustrate them, or the final ball will probably frustrate them because it was a little bit off. But Gyokeres was amazing. He was like a predator. He was so hungry, a fox in the box, like a fox in the hen house, really, when it came to his goal. I think Gabriel at the back post gets a touch on it. It comes across and he's there. He's alert. He's alive. Gets his head on the ball. And I think Arsenal fans have been waiting for this type of performance. I think Arsenal fans have been waiting for a display from him like this, where everything was kind of together. There's been games where the hold-up play's been good, the approach play's been swell. There's been times where he's been making the right runs, he's in the right position. There's times where he scored goals, but it's, can he put all of these components together in a game? And away games in the Premier League are not easy. And I thought he did a fantastic job today. In fact, I think Arsenal looked a weaker team in the second half without him. Now, what you'll get from rivals of Arsenal is, but it's Burnley. And that's what people will say. But at the same time, when they look at other teams and go, well, look, they've got double the goals from open play than Arsenal. And they realize that most of those open play goals that double it came against teams of Burnley's level. They go quiet. So we don't play those games on the football terrace because it's pathetic, really. And that's what Arsenal fans should probably spam. They should just probably spam. It's Burnley. It's Burnley why they have 25 points from the opening 10 Premier League games. It's on them. But I felt that Gyokeres today, I thought it was an absolute masterclass from him. I thought it was fantastic at every single level. And it was hard because the United game was on as well, and I was focusing on 2 matches. But I've been told by a few people there's a very minor head injury and he was taken off as a precaution. But that was the element of the game today where I had to laugh to myself, because we've seen this before with Liverpool and we've seen this before with Manchester City in the last decade. We've seen it historically with Chelsea, United and Arsenal when we had brilliant teams. And there's a lot of City fans that will be watching and Liverpool fans watching that will be angry about how good Arsenal were today, but they'll recognise something. And it was the fact that in the second half, yes, they conceded 3 shots on goal. I didn't concede a single one in the second half. But Arsenal, they didn't play in first gear. They played in neutral. They put their feet up. They put on cruise control. And they just saw the game out. And I would understand that there'll be some gooners, and maybe rightfully so, will feel could have got a third, could have got a fourth, could have had a bit of a party away at Burnley. I agree. I don't disagree with that notion. But I was just watching a team today that should scare rivals. That you got a goal early from a set piece. It's a fantastic weapon. You're scoring from them in every single game. And that, for me, is the opposite of embarrassing. You then score a brilliant goal. I think technically it will count as a counter-attack goal, but it wasn't from a set piece. And it was fantastic football. The crossfield pass from Gyokeres, the ball into the box, the header from Declan Rice. And then you just toyed with them. Have any of you ever owned a cat? Have you ever seen a cat catch an animal? You ever see them catch an animal, especially mice? What they like to do is they put the mice down and the mice runs off and they sort of grab it. They bring it back. They play a bit. They throw it in the air a little bit. And it goes to run away and they go, no, come back here again. And that is what I watched Arsenal do today. And it's so important. And I understand the need and the want for a performance that maybe sends a bit more of a message across social media. Look, 4 or 5 open play goals, we battered someone. But actually, what's more important is how these legs feel for these Arsenal players come March, April, May. One of the things last season that I praised Arne Slot so much for, I'm going to praise this Arsenal team for doing very similar today. Got themselves ahead, controlled the game, countered any kind of, stopped any attacks, nullified any attacks, cruise through, breeze through, easy, recovery day tomorrow, get ready for Slavia Prague, which obviously is a big away trip. You got Sunderland next weekend. It's a great opportunity to go into the international break with 9, 10, 11 wins on the bounce, 9, 10, 11 games without conceding on the bounce, the team absolutely purring, but not exhausting itself. And I watched the Man United and Forest game at the same time today, and Forest had football this midweek in Europe. I'll be interested to see how their legs hold up. The level of energy both teams are having to put in until the 95 minutes. There's some respects where you don't want to be doing that this early in the season. You want to be picking up your points, reserving energy and moving forward. And I think Arsenal did that so professionally today. It was a real professional performance in relation to that. And I think I had a live comment here says the game's gone. No, the game isn't gone. This is exactly... Go back and watch my videos last year in the early stage of the season for Slot and Liverpool. Go back and watch content from early in the seasons when Man City were doing 3-peats, 4-peats, trebles. This is exactly what I spoke about 2 seasons ago when Arsenal started the season slowly and blew up in the second half of the campaign. Predicted it. I felt it was a strategy, and you want to do that. It's how champions do things. It's how champions have invariably won things. Yes, you want to get a very good start to the season now, but you don't want to be peaking too soon. You don't want to taper. A lot of athletes do this, especially if you do like a kind of circuit competition where you sort of do loads of tournaments, but then every 3 to 4 months is a big one. Often the way you train in between these tournaments is to taper so you try and get to your peak for the 2 weeks of those major tournaments. You get that a lot in tennis as an example. And in football, you have to think about, you've got to have something in reserve. So it's not the game being gone, it's what champions do. And I thought that was very, very good today. But overall, look, it was such a solid display from Arsenal. Again, just absolutely no worries, really. Really no worries whatsoever. I suppose the only element, maybe some more shots on goal. Only 12 shots, but 4 big chances created in that. I think the few more shots, slightly better conversion rate. That would probably be the only thing that I'm looking at Arsenal now, and I would say it's the only element of weakness I can see. It's the only soft spot that needs a bit more fine-tuning. It's just an extra, and you'll probably find, if you look at it as a percentage, it's an extra 5% conversion rate over the course of a 5-game period, just to kill a few games off, just to maybe add a little bit of gloss. And maybe it's sometimes more for the fans, just to take a little bit of pressure off of them. But I think Arsenal were in a very good position, a very strong position. And let's see how Man City, let's see how Tottenham, let's see how Liverpool react. A couple of them playing this evening. We'll be live after those games as well. But I think Arsenal, as I say, very, very strong position. And Gyokeres today, a lot of people have been on at him. A lot of people have been attacking him. A lot of people have been writing Victor Gyokeres off. But I think today belongs to him. And if he can start putting in performances like that, he's done it in the Champions League. He's done it in moments, like I've said, in games or certain areas of his play. If he can start putting some more complete performances like that together in this league, adding those goals. And what is that for him? 6 goals now, which isn't a bad return for somebody joining a new league. But I think there's so much more to come from this number 9 of Arsenal's. He delivered today. I don't know who they gave the official man of the match to, but it's who I would personally pick. But I'd love to get your views. I'd love to get your opinions on that in our comment section below. Like, share, make sure you're subscribing. Big win for Arsenal. Now, I don't know if I'm going to bring a panel out tonight. I was going to I'll bring people out one by one to have their say, just because the game's kicking off and it'll be probably a little bit easier for us to get through. That's going to come on the show. I want to touch on Manchester United, though, before I do it myself. And I wanted to speak on Arsenal first, mainly because I did want to calm myself down. I was kind of angry, but I couldn't work out why I was angry. And I had this moment where I realized my anger was because I really wanted to win. That's all it really was. I really wanted to win. And I know that may sound like, well, how did you know that that was why you weren't angry? Was it the performance? Partly. Was it the way we conceded? Partly. But it's because I felt there's a really good opportunity to win. And I was happy with large parts of that performance. And I feel like it's a missed opportunity for us today. The biggest focus will be the 2 minutes of madness at the beginning of the second half. That 2 minutes at the beginning of the second half, it gave me Ten Hag feelings, and it made me feel a lot of the way I did last season. How we can be okay, we get it on the chin, and we fucking collapse. And I was so annoyed because the first goal, in fairness to Forest, was so good. The first goal was so good. And I don't think there was much anybody, including the goalkeeper, could do about it. But the second goal was scrappy. And I think we panicked. We all rushed for the ball. They get a little fortuitous that it bounced to them. Bang, they score. And you're 2-1 down. But now I'm calming down. Coming back and getting a point, I'm quite proud of the players. Because we showed we didn't collapse. We didn't really concede any major chances after that. We didn't collapse. We didn't learn how to not attack. And we got ourselves an equaliser and we walked away with a point. And although I would have much preferred to have scored a second goal, Ahmad to score his screamer. Brilliant goal, by the way, Ahmad. I mean, I was actually cussing him so much in this game. He was so frustrating. But what a strike. Got to applaud the man for that moment. We need more of it from you, please, young man. Yes, I'd have preferred him to have scored that volley early in the second half and we see the game out 2-0. You know, we'd have gone second in the league. We'd have been buzzing. It would have been 4 wins on the bounce. United Strand would be 1 win away from cutting his hair. He's got to start that all over again now. But from my point of view, it's this element of there's a test in there where we didn't completely lose ourselves, and I'm proud we came through it. But overall, barring that 2 minutes of madness, my two biggest bugbears of the day were, one, Ruben Amorim's substitutions. They made no sense to me. I felt Xerxes should have been coming onto the football pitch. I would have certainly looked at extra legs in our press in Mason Mount as they started sitting back deeper. extra legs in the attack. I definitely would have brought Manu onto the football pitch for Casemiro. Casemiro didn't have a bad game, but just bring some energy, a little bit more guile on the ball. I'd have looked at those 3 substitutions. I wouldn't have brought Matt on for Euro. And in fairness, he gave away a stupid yellow card and nearly threw the game away. Nearly threw the game away late on. Took a heavy touch. When he went into that 50-50 tackle, he knew he had to lose the ball because he was already on that yellow card. The substitution really annoyed me. I thought that the starting lineup was correct. The approach was right. We had quite a lot of control for periods of the game. None of that bothered me, but I thought the subs are really poor. But those subs are also a reflection of our squad. And it's why I keep telling Man United fans, keep our feet on the ground. Even if we've ended today second, which we now don't, we're not in no title race. You actually start looking at our bench. Where is the genuine attacking quality to come on to go, going to really change the game? The kind of the best we've got is Joshua Zirkzee, and that ain't good enough. In my personal opinion, especially when it comes to speed, pace, power. So that frustrated me. The only other element that did was the players again today. We had 18 shots on goal. We had 18 shots on the goal today. But the XG was so low. And do you know why the XG was so low? Because most of those shots were shit. They were P-rollers. They weren't really dangerous. We weren't really in on goal. They were acute angles. There was a couple. The really quick turn, touch and shot from Šeško. Loved that. Wasn't on target. More of that, please. Of course, the Ahmad screamer, the goal. The Casemiro header, the goal. There was a great shot in the first half from Ahmad that was saved. But outside of that, Cunha had a chance at the end. P-rollers, easy for the goalkeeper. We weren't really forcing Sells into making massive saves. Obviously, there was the Bruno hitting the post, which was a brilliant shot. It's low XG. You take those away, and you're only talking 5 or 6 of those shots. The other 12, 13 of them weren't good chances. We didn't create a single big chance in the whole game. That is what pissed me off. A lot of our final balls today, all the touches, in Mbeumo placing Šeško in about the 20th minute of the game, gets a half decent first touch. He's clean through on goal, messes it up. 2 minutes in, brilliant play down the right. Ahmad puts the ball in. Šeško should leave it. Bruno maybe should shout louder. Šeško should leave it. Bruno's running onto it. Really good chance to score, but Šeško hits very hard to score with his body in that position. Ahmad's obviously shot well saved as an example, but there was more and more and more of this where if the final touch is better, if the through ball is better, if the decision-making is better, we're in on goal. And we were really poor today in that regard. And that's kind of what annoyed me in the match, because we had a lot of the territory, we had a lot of the ball, we had a lot of control for large periods of the game. But that final ball, and you can see that in the sense that no big chances were created. Sometimes it was the final ball, sometimes it was the touch or the positioning of a player. There was a time where Ahmad cut inside, and there was a pass on the outside, and he tries to cut it back on the inside. There's a time where we counter-attacked, and Cunha made a great run off the centre-back. Just play the ball in, outside your foot, play it in on a curve. Ahmad sort of cuts the ball back and lets all the Forest players get back, and we start to build up again. Just loads of poor decisions today that frustrated me. The positive side, look, we scored 2 more goals. It's away from home. We fought back from a losing position, which we haven't done a lot of away from home in the last year or so. So not perfect. But I was angry afterwards. I'm calming down now like a normal human being. And you go again. We didn't lose. And I think that's really important. We've got a really tough game away at Tottenham next week before the international break. And look, go and win that game now. Keep this unbeaten run going. Keep the momentum moving forward. But my big message to the players is you've got to be more clinical, and you've got to make better decisions when we have the ball in good areas. We had this debate 3 years ago on the terrace. That Šeško moment isn't a chance officially because there was no shot, but it was an opportunity. And we had so many opportunities today that we messed up. That's the bit I'm angry with. But look, I want your views. I want your opinions, please, in the comment section below. We'll start bringing callers on in a few moments. Let me just jump to some of these super chats. I don't want to miss them. I don't want to... where's the last one I did? There it is, there. The United fan waiting for 5 wins for a haircut. Listen, I've had a brief conversation with him. He'll be loving it because the roadshow moves on. What happens when he cuts his hair? It's over, isn't it? Man United went from 2nd to 5th in minutes. It's that tight. But this is also why the league positions, barring top, are kind of stupid right now. And we were looking at Opta's predictions the other day in one of our group chats. if the way teams are winning points continues for the whole season, you could come 10th but be 3 points off of a Champions League spot. It's not going to happen. So I'm not really that worried. Like, as I say, being second would optically look great. But you lose one game and 3 or 4 teams win, you can drop down to 6th or 7th. So the league position right now is not what I'm focusing on. It's the performances, it's building confidence, getting the wins, but it's the bits that come before it. Build the foundation, bro. That's my big thing. And that is why Caicedo is not better than Rice. Gyokeres is learning very good hold-up play and through passes. Our open play conversion has been poor. We're so good at set pieces that we even score from Burnley's throw-in. Set piece again, Alay. Gyokeres also very good today. Yeah, very good point, my friend. He was. Terry, you're a great host. Always very good analysis. Thank you, Clivey. I appreciate that. United felt sloppy today. Rode our luck. Glad to get the points. We need to play every game with intensity. Didn't feel we had that today. So I felt the intensity. I didn't think we were work shy. I just think we were sloppy. I think that's the first bit. The touch, like Cunha today, he did some brilliant things. But there was times where it's maybe he just doesn't look over his shoulder or his touch is heavy. You think, oh, that touch is better. We're clean away. It's a sloppiness. And look, should we have got a corner? Maybe not. The angle looks like the ball's in, but you'll never know. And we've seen before, sometimes they look in from certain angles, sometimes they look out. What I will say is, as I've said every time, if VAR can't intervene, I don't call out VAR and the PG MOL for it, because it's an in the moment mistake. The same as I always do, especially in the FA Cup. I don't call it out in the same way because there isn't a way of rectifying it. That being said, they had a corner right at the end that they could have scored from. They hit their own player who went out. Forest weren't saying, listen, guys, let's give them the goal kick. They went to try and win the football match. That's the way it should be. Equally, I remember when Rashford's ball looked like it didn't go out against Brighton and they disallowed the goal. And rivals didn't care. I remember last season when Cunha scored directly against a corner from us, but it wasn't a corner. I don't remember rivals caring. So for me, it probably shouldn't have been a corner. We got lucky there. That being said, there's no recourse on it. So it's my reason for going after the PG MOL, and I've said it before and I'll keep saying it, is when they have the chance to make the right decision and they don't do it. They can't change that decision. Plus, we haven't seen a straight angle. Sometimes those angles can make it look really out and it's in. Sometimes angles can make it look like it's in and it's out. We've seen that before. So let's see what happens with it. But yeah, sloppy today. United over-celebrated an equaliser versus 19th. They didn't. Maybe people finally understand what Gyokeres brings to our game besides goals. Second half, we couldn't get the ball long without him as an example. I agree. He's very, very good. You missed him in the second half. I come to expect us dropping points to bottom half teams, but we got the points in the grand scheme of things. We still in a fight for European places. Yeah, and that was important. You know, I think today, like I said right at the start, for United today, there was good bits, bad bits, and ugly bits. And this is why I won't get carried away with 3 on the bounce, 4 on the bounce, 5 on the bounce. I'm not going to get carried away. One reason I won't be getting carried away is until this squad's fully built and we have genuine quality throughout and on the bench, there's no point thinking about title races and winning major trophies. Look at the teams that are doing that and compare the squad to ours. It doesn't matter who our manager is either. Forest had 17 shots, who are 19th with 1 win all season. Yeah, again, though, they had 17 shots, but a lot of their shots were like Man United's. Barring their 2 goals, like I've mentioned with ours, they had a good shot in the first half straight at Lemaine's. Outside of that, most of the couple of deflect shots that were on target that got deflected. A lot of them, though, P-rollers, not much in them. That's why their XG was quite low, and they only created 1 big chance in the game. So both teams, for large parts, defended quite well and stopped the other team, but equally, a lot of bad decision-making. The totality of shots doesn't worry me as much as the level of XG or the big chances created. For me, I wouldn't mind facing, outside of their 2 goals, I don't mind facing 15 other shots the way they had them every game, because I don't feel threatened by them, and nor does anybody. Why? Because all those shots from outside the edge of the box and those P-rollers, and sometimes these shots, and United had them too, it's like a defender kind of tries to head a ball from a corner, it's really weak, and a goalie just catches it. It counts as a shot, but it isn't threatening. Let's be very fair, rather than just, you obviously didn't watch the game, you just read the stats. And that goes for both teams. Right, I'm going to bring some people out to have a say now as well. Do me a favor, please, and get this over 1,000 likes whilst we're live on the air. KJ, Saad, Anton, Canadian Cam, and Sonshine is joining me on the show. There's a song that came into my head about Sonshine as I said his name, and then I forgot what the song was. And it wasn't, so I was about to sing Flowers by Sweet Female Attitude. And that's got fuck all to do with Sonshine. You know, I bring you flowers. And what Sonshine song? Anyway, it's gone. There was a song in my head, but it's irrelevant. I'm going to stop rambling. I'm going to bring the boys out. I assume they're all boys. I know you're not meant to judge these days, but I'm going to judge. I'm going to go out on a punt that they're all boys. KJ's here, Saad's here, Anton, Sonshine, Canadian Cam. Welcome.
You was thinking of I've got sunshine on a cloud.
I think you're saying I'm
yeah,
walking on sunshine. I should not be singing. I need to think of my day job.
I knew you were thinking of that song. I was like, yeah.
If it's music with me, it's probably more going to be of an R&B and Motowny vibe compared to Katrina and the Waves. But I do know who Katrina and the Waves are. Eurovision legends. Gents, welcome back to the show, everybody. Thank you for joining me. Anton, a really important win for yourselves, but I wanted to ask you about, first of all, about Victor Gyokeres' performance, because I know that you've been a big defender of his of late, and he really showed up today.
Well, I was hoping Staffy would show up on this show, because yesterday on Straight Facts, he said that Arsenal have been playing with 10 men all season. And then Victor Gyokeres goes out and plays like that. This is what I've been trying to tell everybody. Everybody who's trying to tell me he's clunky on the ball, he's not a good player, what does he offer to the Arsenal? And you saw today the spaces that when he finally is getting these spaces, they will operate in the channels. He is an absolute monster. Forget about the goal from a set piece for a second. How he was contributing to the play was fantastic. Saka should have scored from a peach of a through ball that he put in, and the second goal came because Gyokeres played an amazing crossfield ball to Leandro Trossard, which eventually ended up in Declan Rice's goal. Like, Victor Gyokeres played only 45 minutes today, and he was man of the match by a landslide. Absolutely fantastic. I think that's the last thing that people have to say about Arsenal that's negative, because Arsenal today were like Novak Djokovic in the opening round of Wimbledon. It was like, let's just get this done, 3-setter. Let's just rest, get ready for the next rounds. And that's kind of what Arsenal is doing. We're building up. We're learning from the past. We are saving the gas in the tank, so to speak, for the rest of the season. And I just have to say, and I'm not going to have much to say in terms of today, because I just felt like it was a very professional performance. It's on to you, Liverpool and City, because you two must win this weekend, or the title race for me is done. We are cruising. We are in cruise control if you two fail to win this week, because of course that big clash is coming up next week, and that's a guarantee almost, if we can beat Sunderland, that we push this thing out even further. So it's starting to look amazing, better than I could have ever dreamed of in terms of a start for the season. And after 10 games, that's when people say that you're supposed to be looking at the table. You can start looking at the table now, and the table looks like 10 points clear of Liverpool and 9 points clear of City to this point. So I'm absolutely over the moon.
I bet you are. Canadian Cam, from a United perspective, obviously today, disappointment. And I'm reading group chats and I'm reading things online, and people are in, we fought back for a draw. Others are like, I never thought we'd win this game, but we had a chance to win it, and they're disappointed. How do you feel with the performance and the results today collectively?
Mixed bag, because we were just up and down all game, in my opinion. The thing that I struggled with was, I honestly thought we weren't going to concede this game. That's what I came in thinking. I was like, we're not going to concede. I thought we were going to be defensively astute. And after we went up, I basically said we have to come out strong in the second half, and we did it, which obviously cost us. I think it's a tough one, because I want to be like mad at Ahmad, but offensively he was great, but defensively he was so weak. Like, it was actually like so weak defensively, it cost us. Like, he got completely bullied by Morgan Gibbs White. It was like a child against a man. Like, if I had a 6-year-old, like, that's what it felt like. Lamend made one step to the right that he didn't. It was just, if he was so close to saving that shot. So I got nothing to say about the keeper today. He didn't make any mistakes. The goals he couldn't do anything about. The second goal, It was just Delo falling asleep too. Like, I know it bounced around. and everything, but at the end of the day, I think part of why Arsenal is so good defensively is they don't lose their men on set pieces. Everybody sticks to their man. It's like you're not ball watching. It's something you notice with them. Delo is watching the ball. I get it. When it's bouncing around, you have that moment that that's weird, Siri. You have that moment where you do get focused on the ball. If he had just stuck with his man, he could have cut him out, and then at least the ball probably just Lamens can get to it at that point. So it was errors from the players today, which is nice because I don't think anybody can really fault Amorim too much, other than the center back thing is just like we're all kind of expecting it now. I don't know why he does it consistently every game. You just know one of the center backs is coming off. I do think some of it is to preserve them, because I think he doesn't want, like, we do have kind of injury prone center backs like Euro, Delit, both deal with stuff. Maguire, they all deal with things. So I think there's something to do with that, but it just sometimes it doesn't make sense to me. Like today, like Maz almost cost us the game. We were lucky in that sense. Like Maz giving that ball away, I remember being like, oh yeah, I had to hold my hands up. I'm like, we were lucky there, but they were also lucky. So that's why it was one of those games where like Ahmad's shot, that's on a different day. Murillo's not just happened to be getting it as a good block, but he had no clue. Like if you look at it,
he didn't actually make an attempt to block it. It just kind of hit him. He
was just there, right? He was like, oh shit. Like, so for me, that's also lucky. So it's one of those games where I'm happy we didn't lose. Honestly, like a draw is not the worst result from this game. I would have loved to see us take the game by the scruff and win it. Like Bruno, I thought was on it. That shot he had no business taking. That was cheeky. That was something that would have been a Bruno-esque goal to score. I thought Cass was decent. The Delo was just good for 20 minutes. So this is the thing. When a player drops off like that, it's just like it's starting to become clearer and clearer and clearer that he's just not suited for the Prem, in my opinion. He's not suited for it's like he has moments where he looks real good, and then he just drops completely off a cliff. And that's just, for me, that's fatigue. You're just not there for it. You're not up to it. I thought Sesko looked great for 25 minutes, and the same thing, he dropped off. One thing I did notice with Sesko is the ball sticks to him, which I do like. Like when we need him to hold possession, he can, but he just made a lot of poor decisions today, as did most of the team. That's another thing. Going forward, there's a lot of weird decisions. Guys were, just even Mbuemo made one pass where he tried to put Cunha in, but Cunha had to run like 20 meters just to get to it. It was like a lot of like non-shots taken. You're right. There was a lot of like weak shots, like the Cunha shot that he came out and kind of piddled it to the keeper. It's like I'd rather us, play with the ball a bit first. And try and get better shots than just peppering the keepers with these weak shots. But all in all, up and down, I'm not crashing out. I'm not mad. It is what it is. We got a draw. We got a result from it. That's what we need to keep doing.
Yeah.
But, like we can't go from being like, this is the thing. And I think a lot of like, I'm one of those people who's saying I will adjust my opinions on where I think we should be. But I was saying after 5 games, in my opinion, still where it's at now. Just keep getting these results now. Just keep showing improvement. Look like you have a structure. Look like you know what you're doing. Build the chemistry. And I'm okay. And I'm good.
I think the thing with these, I feel that the thing with these types of draws is, if you draw this game, but then you go and beat Spurs and you go and beat Everton, these draws never feel as bad. I think for us, I don't know about you, the way I sort of feel is, the winning runs come to an end. When am I winning again? Because we go so long without winning. We go so many runs. So there is that mixture, I suppose. And maybe some of that is more our lack of confidence in the team than the reality of the situation, if that makes sense.
I agree with you real quick, because I'll jump off. But I agree with you on that, because you're right. If we go and beat Spurs, this draw feels like a really good result. If we go and lose, it feels like a really poor result. If we get a draw, it feels like a meh. Like, you know what I mean? There's so many different emotions we could feel because we're not used to winning multiple games in a row. I actually think we have a chance of beating Spurs if we just keep playing the way we play and keep the structure going. But as always, fellas, thanks for having me. I got to pop off. But
no worries, bro. Cheers, bro. Speak soon.
Oh yeah, go Blue Jays. Let's go.
Come on, let's go.
Nah, Dodgers about to win back-to-back today, man. I'm sorry to tell you.
Your ass up, man. Shut your ass up, boy.
Are you a Dodger fan? You from LA?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck you. Oh, all right.
That's all.
Let's go. Blue Jays.
Winning all the time.
Have a good time, man. Have a good time.
The Dodgers, Eagles are good.
Yeah. How is it? I know that like you pick who you want. How is it you support a baseball team from one side of America because you're from there, but then an NFL team from the literal opposite side? How'd that happen?
Because in Los Angeles we were without an NFL team for a very, very long time, and everybody was going for different teams. So
and then you have the Rams. Now you got the Rams. You know what I mean?
They got the Rams.
Yeah, but the Rams are soulless. And they're owned by Kroenke. Like I can't go for 2 Kroenke teams. That's not good for my mental health. You know what I mean?
I hear that. Saad, Arsenal today. What did you make of them? What did you make of Arsenal today? And namely, I want to hear for you about Declan Rice as well, who I thought had another powerhouse performance.
That's the first person I was going to begin with. Listen, I thought Declan Rice was majestic today. I think his interceptions, his ball carrying. Listen, I think the way people get too used to what Declan Rice does, where it just goes over people's heads and they just think, oh, it's just a normal performance, just Declan Rice performance again and again and again. When they actually start to discredit him of what he does on a week-to-week basis, the way he's able to drive with that football, the way he's always there for a pass, the way he's able to intercept players all of the time. And sometimes people just look at this and it's like, because it happens a lot of the time, whenever it happens, it just goes over their head. Because once a player does something consistently enough, people just overlook it and they'll start looking for what does he do wrong now? Because he does that stuff so well, what does he do wrong? And they just keep on looking for that. So I think Declan Rice just kept it back to basics today and just did what he does best. And it was amazing. It helped us massively because he was one of the reasons we were able to get the ball to other players on the wings, be able to get the ball into dangerous positions. It was brilliant. I think another player that I need to speak about, Victor Gyokeres, was amazing today. Unfortunate that he had to come off. I have been beating this drum for ages about Victor Gyokeres on my own channel and saying that, listen, he needs time, he needs service. I don't think we're finding him. We're not passing the ball to him enough. We're not finding him when he's making these runs, striker runs, which we're not used to seeing. Because what we're used to seeing is runs from the wing and runs from on the outside. So this is the thing. We need to learn how to play with these strikers. And I think today we were getting the ball to him. He was making these runs. He was chasing every second ball. Every second ball, he was chasing it. And he was making sure he was there. He was applying pressure on the back line, applying pressure to the midfielders as well. So this is the thing. I think he came off due to a head injury, or I think they think it's a head injury. It's a possible head injury, but it's not confirmed yet. Fingers crossed. God willing, he hasn't got a head injury, and he is going to be available for the game on the week.
He was sitting there on the sideline for the second half, nothing on his head. So, I mean, you can be concussed and sit there, but he didn't look like there was a problem. But
it didn't look like there was something serious. So hopefully he should be okay. I just want to speak about a couple more players. Obviously, David Raya had nothing to do today. Again, on top of that, Gabriel, I just want to say something about Gabriel because I feel like it's not spoken about enough. Gabriel's like awareness of the ball traveling in the air is insane because he's always in the right position to get head on the ball. Like always in the right position to get head on the ball. The way he's able to track the ball when it's in the air and it's traveling towards him, like I don't think any player is close to him on that ability alone, which is the reason why our set pieces are so dangerous, and which is why our defensive record against set pieces is so dangerous as well. Because any chance that a team gets, like the one that happened today where we got the second goal from, which I think it was a throw-in, wasn't it, from Burnley, and ends up us being on the counter. Do you know what I mean? So this is the thing. I think our defense is, as stated this season, been absolutely majestic, absolutely brilliant, and it's just there to see. I really think this season, because people say it a lot, but I really think we could come close to the Chelsea record. I don't know if we'll beat it, but we could come close to that.
Well, you've got a great chance. You've got a great chance, mate. And it was funny, sorry, Saad, watching both your team and my team at the same time, side by side on the same screen on Satanta today. And there were just times where Ahmad was out of position. There were times where the low, especially, consistently out of position in the game on the left. A lot of their attacks came from that side. And I look at it and I'm watching you guys. And even in the second half, when you were playing whilst drinking a cup of tea and having a cigarette, it feels almost effortless, although it isn't. And one thing my dad always taught me about football, he said it's one of the very few sports you can watch where the better people get and the better teams get, the more it looks like they're not trying, if that makes sense. And that's what you guys are like. It's like you're doing it in first gear, no real attempts. And I'm watching my team and thinking, we've had a really good run of 4 games from where we've been, but we've still conceded 5 goals in those 4 games. And we were talking about the attack wins your games, defense wins your leagues. And although there are some teams that have won the Premier League, quite a few that didn't have the best defensive record, you normally look at it, well, yeah, okay, they're 5 goals worse than the team that came second, but they scored 17 goals more. And that's because the goals win you games, but the base has to be there. And if United today could have defended well enough to have kept a clean sheet, we have another 3 points. And it's something you guys should be very, very proud of. And some will call it boring, some will try and play it down. But you guys should, at the end of the day, your job isn't to entertain me and KJ and Sonshine. Your job is to try and win the Premier League, and that's what you're doing. And I'd be buzzing if I was a Gooner right now.
Yeah, and I just want to say this before my laptop dies because the charger's back there. But I just want to say this quickly. I think we're afforded the ability to be able to be like this in games where we're able to just sit, take a seat, and just relax and not do too much. Like, we didn't need to do too much in that second half. We were already 2-0 up. We didn't need to do too much. And one person I quickly want to say is Calafiori. If we get the ball to him in some of these positions in the midfield that he's in these advanced positions that he gets in, he's always open in the middle. He's always, or in that little half space area that they say. In that half, if you get the ball to him, he can create so much more. But I feel like the players don't want to take that risk at times. They just, I think that's the one little thing that I can just, it's the one little bad thing that I can pick up from today is that they just don't take that risk to try and pass the ball, or players making a run in behind. Odegaard was the best at doing it, but some players just like Zubimendi, he flinched at times, or Declan Rice even.
There goes the laptop charger.
There goes the laptop. There it goes. But yeah, look, I think we get the gist of what he was saying there. There's no doubt. There's a super chat here that came in that says, please don't get on these platforms and saying the league is over. Don't get too arrogant. And I'm an Arsenal fan. It's still a long way to go.
You guys got to grow a stronger stomach and a thicker skin, guys. Honestly.
I hear that. United conceded 3 more G's conceded 3 more goals at this point last season. Yeah, because Man United ain't. No one's. This is the thing. You do this because you like to. I still don't know who you support, and I'd love to understand it, just to understand your motivation, because that's key to understanding someone's motivation and the why behind the what's very important to me. United ain't perfect, and any United fan going on like we have been in the last 3 games, again, they're free to say what they want, but my message about them is they should be ignored and unsubscribed from because they've been chatting shit. There's a long way to go for this team being anywhere near a side that can start having lots of clean sheets and winning games at a canter. And yeah, I'm not surprised. But overall, we've been a better team because where you sit in the league is the ultimate barometer. I don't care if we can see 2 goals every game. If we scored 3 and won the league, I wouldn't sit there going, I'm panicking. But at the end of the day, we weren't sitting 5th this time last year, were we? We weren't in and around European positions this time last year and actually being competitive in games. So yes, there's areas that have still got to be improved, but the idea that we should all just be going mental, no, not for me, son.
It depends. It depends when, especially if we look at how many points we actually had at this stage last season. I don't necessarily remember. Like you said earlier in the stream, like because it's so early in the season, these positions can change on a coin toss. So I'm not looking at the position so far. It's the points of performances, like you said.
So we were 13th in the league with 12 points.
So 12, we're on 17.
Ooh.
So we already are 5 points clear where we were last year. So that and that's the improvement. And when I look at this game, what I see is the team that we expected us to be in general anyway. I can't really get on to Amorim today, Today I saw a load of players just making poor decisions, especially in the attacking sense. I don't know why they were trying balls, and if they were trying balls, they're executing it poorly. There's passing it to the wrong players at the wrong time. The shots were poor, as we mentioned before. So it's one of those ones where we, as a club, this is what we need to get used to, and this is what not annoyed me. Like we was talking in our Man United group chat, and one of the guys was like, "Oh, don't be celebration, please. Like let people be like giddy, let them feel happy." And I'm like, yeah, I'm letting them feel happy, but I'm just saying, for what we actually are, we know what we are. We know where we are going to be and what we're trying to become. So we can't go into these games. I get have some confidence, have some belief that we can win. But some of the things people were saying, like title charge, that's why I'm like, whoa, slow down and let's actually go game by game. And games like this won't hurt as much. If you're really hurt by this game, I think that's because you've built up what we are too early in your mind than actually seeing what we actually
Bro,
are.
I've seen people, I've seen fans this week, Twitter, in group chats, online, YouTubers, go from 4 weeks ago, Amorim's the worst thing to ever happen to the club, to I think we're on the brink of something special. And I've echoed the sentiment that we could be. This could be the beginning of a turnaround that leads to that. But I just think those conversations are not for now. It's still too early. And that's probably why some of those people today will probably be going, we've been frauded. No one frauded you. You haven't been frauded. Your reading of the situation is horrendous. You don't understand the game. But these are the same people, KJ, that never understand the true root cause problems at Man United and never have done. So I don't know why they get fucking listened to. It's crazy to me.
It's the way of the world nowadays. But outside, let's go back onto the pitch because we're talking about stuff outside the pitch. On the pitch, I know it's very early to say this potentially because January is so far away. We need to sign another left wing back in January. Because I like Borgu, he's raw. I think he needs some support in having someone that potentially ahead of him or compete with him in the long run to help him improve. But Diogo Dalot, I've come to the end of my tether. Like today, it's not just the goal that we conceded because he was just like Cam mentioned, he was ball watching. He fell asleep. He wasn't aware of his surroundings. If you understand, if you know where a guy is. And then you go in to look at the ball, then and he still intercepts. I'm cool with ball watching, quote unquote, because you still have to see where the ball is, right? But he had no understanding of what's going on around him. His man was just free, slipped in behind him, and got in the goal, and that frustrated me. But then there's pieces of play. His passing was poor. He kept on trying to do this thing when he got the ball out wide to try and outpace their opposite fullback when he's not quick. You know, like there's times we can burst forward, I can get it. But at a standing start, I don't expect Diogo Dalot to beat many people all the time. And he just kept trying it. And I was like, stop, because you're just losing the ball like every time. And he had a great season 2 years ago when we won the FA Cup. I was really happy with him then. But he's not really kicked on. And I don't think he's a real fit for this system long term. And we need to look to improve that because that left hand, if we look at the right hand side, Ahmad, what a goal, by the way. Absolutely amazing goal today. Poor on the first goal, but amazing goal nevertheless. You got Ahmad, you've got Yoro, and you've got Mbumo. Right hand side, for me, lock off. It's good. We're looking good for now, you know? The left hand side, though, you've got Luke Shaw, and you got Dalot, and you got Cunha. Cunha has been obviously performing well for us, so we're not going to go into too much. But Dalot and Luke Shaw are two players that have been here for too long.
Yeah.
And this is where, as United fans, we need to remember we're not finished. That midfield needs work, that left-hand side needs work. And please, I'm begging, just take these games, analyze them, understand where we need to improve, and move forward. Because if we just always explode after every game, every dropped point, even though we're not perfect yet, then we're never going to get anywhere. So yeah, overall today, happy with the win. Glad we came back to get a goal. We just got to work on ourselves defensively and move forward that way.
This here from Derek says the players that are complaining about a lack of game time need to think back to last season and the Europa on why we are playing one game a week. This is also true. This is also true for a lot of people that didn't turn up and deliver in those games, and we ended up where we were in the league. A few of those fringe players not getting game time. A lot of them started the game against Grimsby as well. We can't forget these things. We can't forget these notions. And at the end of the day, touching wood, we're not getting loads of injuries as well. So what's also given people opportunities at United in the last few years is an extensive injury list. So yeah, it kind of is what it is there. Sonshine, what did you make of United today? What's your thoughts after the game, mate?
I kind of in the same boat as most people. I wasn't someone that expected a clear out win, regardless of it being Nottingham Forest, for the simple fact is new manager, new bounce. but not only new manager, new bounce, it's the type of manager you've got and the way he plays football. He is known for coming straight into a team, playing very solid, basic football and getting basic principles right very, very early. So from that set off, I was already like, right, okay, we don't keep clean sheets. We're definitely conceding today. So my bet was a 2-1 either way. That was my original prediction. My bias came in when I put my free little bet on Bet365 and had 2-1 United. So I think I was fair in calling it in the sense of how the game would play out, in the sense of we would concede and that Nottingham Forest would be difficult. And of course, when you get a new manager bounce, Man United fans have been there. And it is under, for example, let's say Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, someone that you can actually get behind really soon and really early. Players get a next bag of wind and they're all doing their thing. And fair play to Notts Forest, in my opinion. I thought Notts Forest, if they'd have won the game, I wouldn't have been too upset. But if Man United have won the game, I wouldn't be as too upset. I think it was generally a fair result, getting a draw. So we're going to be speaking about the splitting hairs really and truly. I can only speak from a Man United perspective because I was watching with Man United eyes. So I was watching Man United players. Minus the goal from Gibbs White, which I thought was amazing. Lenny Yoro, I'm not going to say shambles out of anger, but very, very poor today. Defensively, when he's gone up for that ball, he's turned his back. So at least if you're not going to win the header, people know this in defense, put your chest onto an oncoming attacker, make the attacker a lot more unstable. Don't turn your back and just roll, because that means he's more stable in the air. Gets a perfect header off, and that header, in my opinion, would have obviously knocked down for the little tapping for Notts Forest. So frustrated with him. Seshko disappointed again. Again, just the quality on the ball when you've been slid through, when you've been put through in the take your touch, get the ball under control, get your shot off. These are basics in my opinion, but I've been saying this all season. We make individual errors and basic errors, and it leads to a level of pressure. And the one difference I'm happy with about Man United this game is the fact that when we did that, and I think you said, Terry, about feeling like 10 hog days again. When we did go around that little memory lane, shall we say, we did get ourselves together and we did manage to get an equaliser against, again, a very good Sean Dyche side, and a team that seems confident to take some points off some teams this year, and I don't think they'll get relegated from it. So go on.
No, sorry, I know, I'm laughing.
No, sorry, yeah.
Chelsea just conceded a corner, and the
Lovely.
pass back from Gusto that led to it just so overhit, it made me laugh. Sorry.
No worries at all. So yeah, for me, I'm happy with the draw in the sense of it's still not a loss. I think that's very important.
Yeah.
But I'm just frustrated the fact that we couldn't do the basics under pressure once again, and it was a lack of quality in those areas. That being said, Amorim doesn't get a let off from me today. The substitutions, in my opinion, Sesko should have come off straight away. He was struggling to hold up the ball when he was having those poor touches, which were again open to giving us opportunities to go forward and attack. I think Zirkzee comes on, controls those balls, and actually maintains possession in the high third and gives us opportunities to go and score. In my opinion, that wasn't happening. So when I look at that, I'm thinking Amorim, 60 minutes off, get Sesko off. I know he gives you the aerial threat. I know he had one defensive clearance under pressure. Fair play, that happens. But I'll be honest with you, Zirkzee should have come on. I think Casemiro's legs were going in that game because we were being overpressured. So again, I think he should have come off for Kobe Mainu. I just think the manager could have put a bit more pressure on them to go and get the win out there, and I think it would have come. Ahmad didn't have a great game at all. He's my star boy, but I keep it 100. I didn't think he was great at all. However, the goal was absolutely sublime, and sometimes, just like Rooney against City when he did his overhead kick, it wasn't an overhead kick, it was a class goal, but Rooney had a poor game that game as well until he did that, and everyone forgot about it. So sometimes I do appreciate, and I'll finish on this, I do appreciate Man United will be mid-table. So sometimes you're going to have performances like this from the team, but it's when you have these performances, can you go and pick up points? And for me, that in itself is a small win. So I'm quite happy with that. And like I said, I'm happy to move on to Tottenham.
I think what.
I was going to say, I was thoroughly impressed by the fact that you guys turned 0 points into 1 point. Like,
for sure.
Your team in even early this season, your last season, for instance, don't come back after giving up 2 goals in that quick of a.
We're still a fragile team, my friend. We're very, very.
No, but that takes that shows you character. Correct. That's the word I was looking for. Character. Yeah. And I didn't watch the game, but just to know that you guys went from 2-1 down to
Yeah,
get a draw.
and
I think
you know there was a block on the line in the last second. You know, it could have been 3-2. You know, what I would say
We
is
did all the right things in the right moments when we were under
yeah,
pressure. That's good to see.
And look, it's a squad issue for me as well today. And I think, and what I mean by that is there's 3 or 4 players that weren't at it today.
Yeah.
But yes, we could have bought Manu on, but he's not. I'm talking more about. There's no one really that we can bring on for Cunha or Mbumo who are like them or better. Even with Xerxes coming on, what he might do different is hold the ball up better and play one of those guys in. And this is why I won't be getting carried away, even if we win our next 4 games on the bounce. Is there are going to be matches where your better players aren't at their best. How do I know that? Because it's happened. I've seen Messi have bad games numerous times. It's going to happen. It's about what you can bring on from that bench. It's about the squad depth, and we're nowhere near that level, which is why a good run and some good performances, it doesn't really matter who the manager is to me. It's about this squad needs so much more quality. And we've seen that with the new guys we've purchased. I think, KJ, you said it earlier, you know, if we had a left wing back attacking as well as Ahmad and Mbumo are on the left, again, that adds another string to our bow, but we'll see. Egal, another important win for Arsenal today. Rice and Gyokeres flying high. What was your thoughts on it, mate?
I was just going to say, before we go on the Arsenal thing, Buemo would have scored. You guys would have won. He's like your good luck charm.
Yeah.
As for Arsenal, bro, can we just be happy and just stop the over analyzing little things? Because I feel like Gyokeres got over analyzed all season. I feel like people are over analyzing things all the time. Always scared to say, you know what, your team's looking good, everything's looking good. Arsenal, everything's looking good right now. We don't concede many chances. We don't concede many goals. We've conceded 3 goals all season. We scored another 2 goals today, another set-piece goals. All these people saying set-piece goals are not sustainable. Well, it looks goddamn sustainable right now because at the pace we're scoring, how many set-piece goals are we going to have come the end of the season? Arteta's really trusting the squad. I rate the fact that he rotates the squad even mid-game, taking off Gyokeres. And yeah, man, to sum it all up, we beat Burnley after 14 minutes, Terry. It took Liverpool 95 minutes to score a goal against us. That's the level of standards we currently have.
Yeah. Look, I don't think. I think there are some Arsenal fans that will overanalyze. I was watching a bit of content this week of some Arsenal fans, and you can almost see in their sort of joy. I don't know if you boys have seen this as Gooners. In their joy of being in a good position, it feels more like they're laying traps if you don't win major trophies this year. And I've listened to
that's been my gripe there, Terry. I mean, because look, I read the comments. Everyone's telling me that I'm going too gassed. And I was in the group chat with Quest, and he's giving me gifs about some kid behind a door and being like, oh, you guys looking so happy now. What's going to happen in May? And I'm like, are you looking at the league? Nobody else is challenging us, coming anywhere near close to challenging us. We're now 10 points clear of the supposed big favorites now. And they're playing each other next week. Like, I get it's 10 games, but I'm just reading the writing on the wall. Arsenal fans, by the way, guys, why are we so scared to put our chest out? Why do you have to behave like
it's British culture?
That's what it is.
It's ridiculous.
I think the issue is I think there's nothing wrong with Arsenal fans saying I think they're going to win a league, or I believe this team's now good enough to win it this year. This is the year that we're going to do it. But I think it's the extent that some Arsenal fans are going that rubs even Arsenal fans the wrong way. It's because, yes, a lot of your fan base has got PTSD. It is scared. It has seen its team fail to win the league 3 years in a row. There was even times when you was trying to get top 4 and you've come short because of a few bad games and you never reach your target. But you have improved from those points. But I think the problem is that some Arsenal fans, and Anton, you one of them, don't worry, I'm looking at you. I'll call you out by name. It's more than just, I think we're going to win the league. It's no one's challenging us. It's 10 games in.
But who is challenging us? Name a name, please. Name a name. Who's challenging us?
Right now, no one's challenging us. But you will never, it's football. You never know. Liverpool might get that moment where everything just clicks. And they're going
but they're 10 points behind.
All I gotta say is,
they can click all at once.
Let me land the plane, and then you ask.
Yeah, go on.
Man City, we've seen it again. I'm not saying these clubs are 100% going to do it, but we've seen Man City clicking the gear when we thought they were poor and go on a run. So it's
this Man City's a one-man team, though.
No, yeah,
it's irrelevant.
Wait a sec. So it's not about saying Arsenal fans can't be happy or can't be confident or shouldn't puff out the chest. They should. But what you're doing is inflating the chest to like triple D's, bruv. You know what I mean? Like, bring it down just a little bit. And then when you get closer to March, April, May, that's when you can come out with the smoke then. Because remember when Spurs were 10 games in and everyone was chatting the big.
Not the same, AJ.
Wait. When Spurs were chatting the most, 10 games in, Arsenal fans, United fans, everyone was saying, yo, relax, your Spurs, blah, 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 blah. And they collapsed and ended up finishing 5th or 4th, wherever they finished that year. All I'm saying is the confidence is fine. But writing off everybody right now, I think is more going to lead to demise than it is to glory. So that's all I think that's people's point.
The biggest part, just quickly, the biggest part I'd look at from an, again, Arsenal perspective is the simple fact that over the years, it's not the fact that you haven't been able to challenge. It's not the fact that you haven't been able to be in the lead after 10 games, 15 games. If you're being honest with your team and you look at your history of your team, you go, okay, I'm seeing these similar patterns. This is good. I'm glad to be in this position again. However, where's the difference going to come from? Was actually getting the trophy or actually winning a final, whatever you want to call it as, and actually having the same thing happen over the last, half a decade. So that's where the difference has to come. And 10 games is not enough for you to be able to even see that difference. So I'm with KJ in the sense of absolutely puff your chest out and say no one's beating us at this moment in time. Facts. Because, again, you're not conceding for what reason you want to call it as, and you're actually getting your points. Exactly how you should be as Arsenal Football Club. But to then write off other teams, you're then going down that same slippery slope just because it feels good. And you're going off, again, the emotion of the game rather than the reality of you are 10 games in and this is Arsenal we're talking about. In order for you to get over that line, you have to go and be consistent in the pressured moments. And I've always said, and I say it from the start, I don't believe Arsenal or Arteta is that person. I don't believe he's a winner. I think you'd love him to be a winner, but I do think overall he's a failure. Unless, and again, this is my conclusion. If Arteta is a manager that is how can I put it? He's strong when it comes to building a team, then I'd say he's succeeded at Arsenal. But if you think he's a manager to go and win and get you over the line to get trophies or a league, I think he's failed. So it depends on the level of where you put Arteta. So is it a case of if he doesn't win the trophy this season, is it a case of, you know what? Thank you, Arteta. You've done the best you can do. Therefore, he's a success. I couldn't say anything against him because he's only a manager that could build a team to a level. But is he now a manager that goes and wins you trophies? That's what you're waiting for. And 10 games in, there's no way you could say that when you know football changes and you're about to have a little blip. You have to.
Egal, just very quickly, I'm going to come to you and this is the last point because I've got to wrap the show up. So over to you, Egal. Thank you.
I think Arteta's a winner, and you're going to see it this season when we lift that Premier League trophy because the squad that he's built and the way that he's managing the squad, he just hasn't had the tools. He's always had the raw ability as a manager. He just hasn't had the tools, and now he has the tools. I think he's going to shut up everybody.
I disagree, but I don't know.
I guess we'll have to wait and see, right?
Wait, by the way, I actually do think Arsenal.
Can I respond just for 60 seconds, just quickly on that point?
Yeah.
All right.
I've also got something to say as well.
Yeah. I'll keep it quick. So here's the thing that, again, let's go looking over people's Arsenal. Last season, the way Arsenal were playing, the type of football that Arteta was building, you were saying I just need that goal scorer, that striker, right? Now all of a sudden I'm not seeing that type of football and that way Arteta's playing, which is fine. But let's say he's adapted. Let's give him the benefit. He's adapted for whatever reason. You're telling me in 6 months you've gone and got your world-class striker or your bagsman, and now all of a sudden you're not playing that style of football. I think it's I think he's kind of copped out on his idea and gone, you know what? This striker ain't doing it. I'm going to have to find a different way of playing. And your set pieces are working, which is, again, I'm not against it personally, because I'm from Stoke-on-Trent, so I had a whole city gassed off that, so don't stress that. But overall, when I look at it, I go, in 6 months, you've now changed your style of football, or you're not creating enough as what you used to for your strikers, but you've only just brought a striker to go and win you the league. So is Arteta getting a blie here? It's a question.
You just added on to things I want to respond with.
Anton, I'll give you a minute. The reason I've got to go is I'm watching a game that I've got to go.
I know Tottenham and Chelsea.
These games before the other ones, they're meant to be a bit shorter than this show is. So, Anton, 60 seconds, Anton, go.
All right. Firstly, we're comparing all previous Arsenal teams to this Arsenal team. This Arsenal team is just miles ahead, and we're equipped to deal with everything. We got a centre back partnership that's better than Chelsea's best center backs in total, right? So I think the team overall is amazing. The defense, no one's scoring on us. And by the way, I think Arteta has adapted, and our attack is much better than you are just making it out to be. We've been playing the lowest of the low blocks. You saw today. Finally, a team opens up after going down 1-0, and you're seeing the football we're playing. You're seeing the football more specifically that Victor Gyokeres is able to play. So, the scary thing is we're 10 points clear of Liverpool, 9 points clear of City, and we have got so much more to go. And that's why we're so overconfident at the moment.
Okay. I mean, I disagree, but we haven't got time, so another time.
Yeah. That's for a go. That's for a show
really.
where
Never have been that person, bro.
That's for a show where I don't have other games afterwards, boys. So we'll come back to that another time. Feel free to jump on more shows, boys. Like the link's always in the group chats.
Sunshine, come on next Arsenal.
You have to add me to the group chat, man, and I'll come in a lot more.
It's easier if we can have these conversations easier when Arsenal are the last game of the day, so that there's not another game to jump onto. But viewers, this is going to redirect you to Hassam's channel, so go and support his watch along, please. Chelsea should go 1-0 up. They're going to go 1-0 up. They've gone 1-0 up. João Pedro goal.
Sake, man,
yeah. So, look, hit the like button, please. Make sure you're subscribing, and we'll see you all at full time of Chelsea versus Tottenham. Bye-bye.